What's good, YouTube? It's Coffee. Tapping back in, man. And the Fonz himself, Henry Winkler. What a long career the Fonz has had, man. Been in a lot of Adam Sandler movies as a late. He was in that HBO series, Barry. Like, he's been constantly, consistently working, I believe, his whole long life and career that he's had. And here he is reflecting on the loss of another great talent in the acting world, man, who passed away pretty young. He says, "I miss my fan every day." And that is him retweeting and quoting this tweet here, Land of the 80s, saying, "Who was a fan of John Ritter?" And I don't know what role that is, where he's wearing a badge and all that. Of course, he's most known for Three's Company. And what a great show that was, man. I still, laugh my ass off at that show currently today. And even the spin-off that followed it up, I think it was called Three's a Crowd, where Jack Tripper gets married, opens a restaurant, which was his passion and all that which I think he did have Jack's Bistro and the Three's Company or whatever, but it's a different restaurant, a different life he's living and everything. And I don't know, I didn't know him and the Fonz were friends. I don't know if they ever worked together. Any other movie, TV buffs out there, comment if you were a fan of John Ritter and what roles outside of Three's Company, do you remember him from? And do you know what this picture is right here? Let's see in the comments if anyone knows. And of course, right before his passing, he was doing that show, 10 Rules to Dating My Daughter or something like that. Kind of a bizarre name for a show, I guess. Maybe not. But he also did Bad Santa and killed that role. He was the manager of the mall. You know what I mean? There's some great lines, great scenes with some great comedy in it with him and Billy Bob that just cracked me up. Someone says, my aunt volunteered for the Share Show, a fundraiser for handicapped children. I met him at a dinner. Very funny and so nice, which is rare in Hollywood, by the way. Great actor and was naturally funny and very talented. Had the privilege of meeting you both while working the Great White Way. What is that? He was lovely, kind, generous spirit, and hilariously funny, but moreover, genuine, absolutely genuine. He is sorely missed. I remember that. I think it was like 02, 03. It broke news everywhere. I want to say he passed away in his 50s. He was just, I don't know. He was pretty young. I'll look it up momentarily before I close this video, how old he was at the time of his passing. Get to the doc, y'all. Have a doc you trust. Ain't got to be a Health nut, but just have to be conscious of things, Someone says, I loved him, especially in Three's Company. He was so funny, talented, and from everything I read, very kind and generous. He is missed. I just posted on this. He is sorely missed. Left an impact on everyone who laid eyes on him. He was a special performer. I'm sure he was even more special friend. This is one still hurts. Big fan of yours and his. I cried so hard when he passed. He was an amazing actor and hilarious. I remember him well. Only when he got hugs from Chrissy. I've started watching Three's Company again, one of my favorites with him. I mean, dude, that show. Comment too, guys. Mr. Furley or Mr. Roper. Then they had the Roper spinoff as well, which was okay, but Three's Company really is just a gem, a great show, you know what I mean? It's loved by many. Let's see. I do too, Mr. Winkler. You and he were TV staples at my house, and it meant a lot. I remember my mom taking me to see Hero at Large. So I'm guessing that's something he was in. I remember at one point in time glancing over his filmography, and he did a lot more work than I thought. I always wondered too if he did stand up. You know what I mean? I wonder, you know what I mean? It's so wild when it comes to comedians and acting. You know, there's the comedians that make it huge and cross over into acting in a major way. And some of them have amazing stand-up, some not so much. Some stop doing stand-up, some never quit. I never knew if John Ritter messed with stand-up. He definitely seems like he would have been great, you know. Love Jason Ritter. It's John Ritter, ain't it? And Raising Dion looks just like his dad. Oh, it's Jason Ritter, the father. Okay. Right there with you, Henry. So sorry for your loss. He left way too early. Extremely talented. Loved him. He was such a talented man. I miss his talent and wit. Such a loss. Great actor. 100. He was such a good guy. We'll read a few more of these and close it on out. But again, comment your thoughts on his career, Henry Winkler, the Fonz, you know, all that. Let's discuss it all in the comments. Make sure to subscribe to the channel if you're new over here. We talk music, news, sports, TV shows, just all kinds of stuff. Again, I say, you know, much to my detriment. Many people are like, coffee, you cover a bit too much, but I don't know. It's how I rock, you know. Mr. Winkler, my dad had the opportunity to drive you on the movie Night Shift. He was a teamster for almost 40 years in that time. He always held you as one of the kindest, most genuine actors he ever interacted with. You tipped him 100 and wouldn't take no for an answer. Even wadded it up and threw it in the car and ran into your home when he dropped you off. He never forgot it, and neither will I. You know, it's always interesting, man, when people meet celebrities. I was actually just mentioning comedians. I had family members that worked Comment If Out Your Way. Funny Bone was a thing. I think it's actually still around, but in the Buffalo area, I don't believe it's there anymore. I'm not, if someone knows if it's still around, tap in, comment. But working there, they met a lot of comedians, you know, and like one person who they said was a total prick, and he seems like he would be a cool guy. Pauly Shore. They were like, Pauly Shore was such a prima donna douchebag, you know, just rude and, you know, arrogant. I was like, really? And then I can't remember who it was. There was someone else that they told me was like so cool. You would think maybe not so much, you know? Like, I don't know. Pauly Shore comes off to me like he would be a laid back, chill dude, but nah, man. Loved him. Dear kids, his name was John Ritter, and he was awesome. The coolest. Okay, these last ones on the here we'll read, and then we're up out of here. But I'm gonna look up his date, that age at that date of his death. The coolest. I remember the movie The Only Way Out. The Fonz and Jack Tripper get in a knockdown, dragged out fight. Really? So The Only Way Out. That's something they did indeed work on together. And as I'm saying this, a movie that I remember Ritter being in, Problem Child, and Gilbert Gottfried, as we were just speaking of comedians, you know, himself was in that film with the crazy voice. Remember, he used to do USA Up All Night and all that. We all miss him. Maybe not in your way, but he helped shape a wholesome America, as did you. Loved his natural comedic style, exuded likability and charm with Chrissy and Janet. Too young to die. Absolutely, man. Gone so far ago. You know, I believe it was 2002. Here we are in 2025. Time just keeps flying by. You know what I mean? Class Man, and then the last one here. I've been watching Jason Ritter on Matlock. He reminds me so much of his dad. So there's someone else mentioning his pops. I didn't know he was on Matlock. You guys seen too? They brought Matlock back with I forget her name, but it's a female this time around. Anyone out there, let me know if you're rocking with the new Matlock or not. You know what I mean? Some things get rebooted, rehashed, and all that, and we've seen it all. TV shows turned into, or movies turned into TV series, and you know, it's a different game these days or whatever. And you know, so often it can be like kind of lame or whatever, but there's some good ones out there, man. Right, so we have it right here, though. John Ritter, 54 years old when he passed, man. 54. He would be, what, 76? It's realistic to still be alive at 76. And I was rather shocked recently when I found out that the average lifespan is like up in the US of A. Like when I seen what it was at, I want to say it was like 79 or something. It kind of shocked me. But Ritter was then diagnosed with aortic dissection and taken into surgery, but was pronounced dead at 10:48 p.m. at the age of 54. Private funeral for Ritter was held in LA on September 15th, 03. Okay, so it was 03. I was wrong. After which he was interred at Forest Lawn Memorial Park in Hollywood Hills. Did he know he had a heart condition? Wife revisits his misdiagnosed heart condition 20 years later. It's been over 20 years since John Ritter's death, but his wife, this was just put out in 2024 here, but his wife is more determined than ever to honor his memory. Damn, what were John Ritter's last words? Oh, look, this is a video here, and it quotes Henry Winkler. In this video
episode. It was during this time that Ritter started feeling unwell, ultimately succumbing to a series of ailments that tragically led to his passing. In subsequent interviews, Winkler has revealed that he and John took a break from rehearsals to reminisce about a play they had recently completed together. That play was Neil's...
Oh, so it seems they were in the process of working together on something as well. It sounds like a rehearsal, something they were working on together.
Simon's the dinner party. As they converse, Ritter began exhibiting symptoms, sweating profusely, forcing an abrupt end to their discussion. Winkler recounted that in that moment, Ritter turned to him and said, "I'm sweating. I'm going to get some water." Winkler replied, "I'm going to memorize my lines so I don't stink up the room." Those words marked the final exchange between the two friends. Shortly after, Ritter was rushed to the nearby medical center, where he tragically passed away several hours later.
Damn, there you have it. So the Fonz, which, you know, is what initially brought us here. This tweet from Henry Winkler. No wonder why, you know, he thinks daily upon the passing. Not saying, you know, taking anything from their friendship, but the fact that they were working in the process of working on some project together at his death, time of his death, you know. It's wild, man. And then the Fonz, I'm not sure his age, but I know he's up there, you know. But there you have it, man. Jake Coffee Talk signing out. R.I.P. John Ritter. Truly a great performer. I mess with the Fonz too, you know. Let's talk about it all. Everything we touched on in this video in the comments. Once again, if you're new over here, we just like to coffee talk it up on different topics. You know what I mean? So peace. God bless. Have a great day, y'all. I'm up out of here.